This has been weighing on me for a long time now, and I just need to get it out. I don't know if saying it out loud, or in this case, writing it down, will help, but maybe it'll be a relief to finally admit what I've been carrying around silently. I know what I did was completely wrong. I know it was a lapse in judgment, and I felt absolutely awful about it every single day since it happened. But let me start from the beginning. I was married to my husband for 36 years. Most of my life, really. We had kids, built a life together, went through all the ups and downs that come with that kind of time. And then, just like that, it was over. Divorced. Paperwork signed and finalized in November of 2020. And the moment it was done, he moved on. Not just moved on, but immediately had a new girlfriend. Someone a good 15 years younger than me. I don't know if they'd been seeing each other while we were still married, or if he just went out and found her right after we split. Either way, it felt like a slap in the face. I wasn't doing well at that point. The divorce hit me like a ton of bricks. I spent years taking care of a family, raising kids, being a wife, and suddenly, I felt like nothing. Just an older woman who got tossed aside while my ex got to relive his youth with someone younger and fresher. I don't know if it was jealousy, heartbreak, or just pure emptiness, but something inside of me snapped. I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw. I had let myself go. I was depressed, out of shape, and just lost in life. I had no self-confidence, no motivation, so I made a decision that I was going to fix myself. I threw myself headlong into getting into shape. I worked out, changed my diet, and dropped 25 pounds. And when I still didn't feel good enough, I took it a step further. I got breast implants. It wasn't an easy decision, but I told myself it was something I was doing for me. Maybe a part of me thought it would help me feel younger. Maybe I just wanted to prove something to myself, or to my ex. I don't know, but by June of 2022, I had gone through with it. For the first few weeks, I basically hid from the world. I wasn't ready for people to notice. Hell, I wasn't even ready to notice myself. But as time passed, I started to gain confidence. I started feeling like maybe I could be attractive again. And right around this time is where the worst mistake of my life occurred. My daughter and son-in-law have a pool in their backyard. And during the summer months, I would sometimes go over there with them and the grandkids. Nothing unusual, it's something we'd done for years. But this would be the first time after my surgery. I knew my body had changed. I knew that people would notice. But I told myself that I was being ridiculous. They were my family, and what was I supposed to do? Never wear a swimsuit again? Well, one afternoon in late July, I was at the pool. My grandkids were playing, my daughter and son-in-law were there. It was just a normal summer day. But at some point when my daughter was inside making lunch, my son-in-law made a comment. A small throwaway comment, but one that put a lump in my throat. It was about my boobs. I don't even remember exactly what he said. Something casual, offhand. But the second the words left his mouth, I just wanted to disappear. I played it off, acted like I didn't hear it, but on the inside, I was crumbling. I had known this was a possibility, but hearing it out loud, it made me want to run, to pretend that it didn't happen. I went home that night still feeling a bit weird about it. And then my phone vibrated. It was a text from him. He apologized for what he said, told me he didn't mean to make me feel uncomfortable, and then added something that I don't think I was ready to hear. I just want you to know I think you look great. I'm happy for you. That was something that I should have just hit with a thumbs up emoji, or ignored it, deleted it, but I didn't. I was still so insecure, and I'd been drinking that night. While it was just a couple of glasses of wine, it was enough to lower my guard, and before I could even think, I was texting back. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I kept texting, but I did. At some point in that ridiculous conversation, I did something that I can't exactly take back. I sent him a topless picture. even as I did it, I felt like I wasn't really in my own body, like I was watching myself from the outside, screaming at myself to stop. But I didn't. He replied by saying that I looked amazing, that I was beautiful, that I shouldn't be ashamed. And for the first time in years, I felt seen, not just as a mom, not just as a grandmother, not just as a woman who had been left behind, as a woman. And then I did the second thing that I can't take back. I invited him over. I can't even say that I didn't know what I was doing, because I knew exactly what I was doing. When he came over that night, we had sex. I hadn't had sex in 3 years, hadn't been touched, complimented, desired. And in that moment, I didn't care that it was wrong. I just wanted to feel something. I think we both knew immediately that it was a mistake. We didn't even talk about it afterward. We just swore we'd never tell my daughter. And we haven't. But that doesn't mean it's gone away. He and I have texted a few times since then, and he's asked for pictures a couple of times. And I've sent them. I don't know why. Maybe because part of me still craves that attention, even though I know it's twisted. We just haven't done anything else. And yet, this guilt is crushing me. I can't stand lying to my daughter. Every time I see her, every time I sit across from her at the dinner table, every time she hugs me, I feel like I'm going to break into a million pieces. I tell myself there's no reason to tell her. It would just destroy her. It wouldn't fix anything. It would only hurt. But then I think, what kind of mother am I to keep something this big from her? Would she ever forgive me? Should she? I don't know how to live with the secret, and I also don't know how to let it go. So here I am, confessing it to a bunch of strangers because it's the only way I can say it out loud. Maybe that makes me a coward. Maybe I am. But I have to carry this with me, and I honestly don't know if I can. My wife and I used to be happy, truly happy. 8 years ago, we were newlyweds, deeply in love, always traveling and always laughing. We had dreams, plans, and a life that felt full of possibilities. Everything felt easy. Then she got pregnant, and we were overjoyed. It felt like we were stepping into a new, exciting chapter together. When our first son was born, we thought we had everything we ever wanted. And 2 years later, she got pregnant again, this time with twin boys. Everything changed right around then. What should have been the best years of our lives slowly turned into something I never expected. Something that feels like a never-ending struggle. From the start, our oldest son was difficult. Not just in the normal raising kids is hard kind of way. He had extreme anger issues, behavioral problems that just kept escalating. At first, we thought it was just the terrible twos, then maybe a difficult preschool phase. But year after year, it only seemed to get worse. We've had to move him from preschool to preschool, school to school, desperately trying to find a place that could handle him. Therapy after therapy, specialist after specialist, and nothing really helps. I've been working 2 jobs for 3 years now just to afford it all. 2 jobs to pay for all the evaluations, therapy sessions, medications, the programs, anything that might give us a sliver of hope that one day he'll become a functioning adult. And what do I get in return? The other night, I came home after working 15 hours straight between both jobs. I walked through the door utterly exhausted, barely able to keep my eyes open. I saw my son sitting on the couch and managed to force out a, "Hey son." You know what he said to me? "Fuck you, Dad." That's what I got. That's what my 15-hour shift earned me. I just stood there. My body was tired, but my blood boiled. I had just spent the entire day breaking my back for him, for a child who hates me, for a child who makes life miserable for everyone around him, for a child we've spent thousands of dollars trying to help. I'll admit, I lost it on him. I got right in his face, looked him straight in the eye and said, "You know what? Fuck you too." and then I walked off, took a shower, and went to bed. What scares me is that I don't even feel bad about it. He treats my wife, his brothers, and me like garbage 99% of the time. And what do? We coddle him. We tiptoe around his meltdowns because that's what all the therapists say to do. Be patient, be understanding, show him love and support. I hate that I resent my own son, but I don't know what else to feel anymore. The twins aren't as hateful or difficult as their older brother, but they come with their own challenges. Both of them are on the autism spectrum, which just adds another layer of stress to an already impossible situation. They're good kids, they really are, but they have quirks and habits that make everyday life exhausting. It's the constant sensory overload, the screaming as they play, the routines that have to be followed or else everything falls apart, the unpredictable meltdowns that come out of nowhere. So picture this. I come home from work, already dead inside, and I walk into pure chaos. The twins are running and shrieking. My eldest is melting down, screaming, throwing things, hitting. My wife is trying to hold it all together. You might think this is just a snippet, but this is every single day. We've never been able to go anywhere as a family and just enjoy ourselves. Someone, usually our oldest, always happens to ruin it. We're actually banned from our local Olive Garden. Yeah, banned. I had the bright idea of taking everyone out for a nice family dinner last year. It ended with a full-blown meltdown in the middle of the restaurant. Other tables were staring. The waiter didn't know what to do. We got kicked out, and they told us not to come back. Never again. I don't know how my wife does this all day, every day while I'm at work. She's a stronger person than I am, but even she's starting to crack. One night, I came home late, exhausted as usual. I walked into the bedroom and saw her just sitting in bed crying. She didn't say anything. She didn't need to. I just knew. She's tired. She's burnt out. She's done. Our kids, as much as we love them, are destroying us. Our marriage is falling apart. We haven't had sex in 3 seasons. There's no intimacy, no closeness. We're not partners anymore. We're teammates in survival, just trying to get through the day without completely losing it. This summer has been especially brutal. I feel like we're both just existing, doing what we can to make it one more day. If you're listening to this, you're probably thinking that I'm a shitty father. And honestly, you're probably right. I've never done anything that's actually helped these kids. I just work myself to death, throw money at therapy, and hope for a miracle. I don't know how to be a good dad. I don't know how to fix this. All I know is that I get up, work, come home, and dread stepping through that front door. My own father left when I was a baby. I grew up hating him for it. He walked out on my mom, on me, on my siblings. He was a deadbeat, a coward, a terrible father. But after these last few years, I get it. I finally understand. And that scares the hell out of me. I used to think there was nothing worse than a father who walks out on his kids, but now, I wonder if maybe he did the right thing. Maybe he knew he was a dad and thought leaving was better than staying and making everyone else miserable. I always heard terrible things about him, that he was selfish, lazy, that he was a major asshole. And now, I see myself in him. But I won't do what he did. I won't abandon my family. Even if I hate coming home at night, even if my marriage is dying, even if I don't know if I can take another year of this, I won't leave. But that doesn't mean I don't think about it. And maybe that makes me just as bad as him. I'll try my best to keep this short, but there's a lot to unpack. FYI, this story involves some heavy stuff, so consider that your trigger warning. I met my ex-fiancée in high school, about a decade ago. We were that couple, the kind everyone envied. Best friends, rarely fought, the perfect relationship. People used to call us their role models for love. We even made it through 2 years of long distance while she was in the US for school. Despite all the challenges of being young, broke, and dealing with our own family struggles, I really thought we'd make it. Up until everything fell apart. I found out she was cheating on me. Not a drunken one-night mistake, not a meaningless flirtation. She had a full-blown affair. It was emotional, it was physical, and it went on for months. I was devastated. Still am, honestly. But in a way, I was lucky. We weren't married yet, which meant I could walk away quickly without getting tangled up in legal battles or shared assets. But that didn't exactly make things easier. We had lived together for years, built a life together. She was my best friend, and suddenly she wasn't. The worst part of it all, she didn't even seem to care. I was the one who ended it, but she didn't fight back. She didn't cry, didn't beg for another chance. She just agreed, because of course, she wanted to be with him. No apologies, no remorse, no regret. Just a shrug and a new man. That's what hurt more than the cheating itself. I was angry. No, more than that. I was burning on the inside. I wanted revenge, I guess. I wanted her to feel something, anything, after all the years we had together. But she just moved on, like I had been nothing. So I did the only thing I could think of. I told people the truth. I told my family. I told her family. Most of our mutual friends. Some people were disgusted by her. Some didn't care. And that's when I took it one step further. I told his wife. Yeah, my ex's affair partner, married. A man in his 40s with 4 kids. A man whose wife believed she had the perfect marriage. Sound familiar? Because it did to me too. I knew it would hurt her, but I told myself she deserved to know. Just like I wish someone had told me before I wasted years of my life with a woman who never really loved me. And it worked. Their marriage fell apart. At least, that's what I heard. I wasn't in direct contact with her after the initial revelation, but word got back to me that their relationship was disintegrating. Here's the thing. Affair partner never actually left his wife, and he never really left my ex either. It became a mess of lies and half-truths. My ex was now trapped in it, still holding on to him, still clinging to the idea that maybe he'd leave his wife and be with her one day. Meanwhile, I'm sure his wife was living in a nightmare. And while I can empathize with that just a touch, I don't think I can truly fathom what she was going through. At this point, my ex kept reaching out to me. I guess she wanted comfort, wanted me to be the one person she could still talk to. And I played along. I pretended to be supportive, acted like I cared. But really, I was just screenshotting every message. Because in my mind, she deserved this. They both did. And I figured if she was still with him, the wife should probably know. So 5 months ago, I did exactly that. I messaged her once again. Sent her everything. Proof that he was still cheating on her. That even after their supposed reconciliation, he was still lying and still sneaking around. I told myself I was doing the right thing. That she deserved the truth. That she needed to see him for what he really was. I thought she'd just leave him. Maybe file for divorce. Take him for everything he had. But that wasn't the case. Last month, my ex and her affair partner were found dead. Killed presumably by his wife. And then, she unalived herself. 3 lives, gone, poof, just like that. And here I am, just trying to make sense of it all. I keep replaying it over and over, wondering, should I have just let it go? Wondering if my anger, my bitterness, had set all of this in motion. I don't think she was just a woman scorned. I think she was broken. I knew she was struggling after I first told her about the affair. I knew their marriage was in ruins. I knew this information destroyed her. But I didn't know she was that unstable. I didn't know she was going to lose it completely. And now people blame me. They say I had a hand in this, that I pushed a fragile woman over the edge. And I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, logically, I didn't kill them. I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't make her do what she did. But I don't know how to navigate the feeling that I may have set all of this in motion. I wanted revenge. I wanted to see them hurt. And in the end, I got what I wanted, but not like I imagined. And that's something that now I have to live with. I've been debating leaving my country, packing up, moving somewhere new, someplace where no one knows me, where I don't have to see the judgment in the eyes of people that knew both of us. Because even though I didn't kill them, I still feel like my hands are bloody, and I can't live like this. At the same time, I don't want to uproot my life. I don't want to run away. I don't want to live in fear that some angry relative of theirs is going to come looking for me, looking for their own brand of justice. I just want to forget, but I don't think I ever will.